Howdy.
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 How are you guys today? Good, doing good. A little bit chilly here. But yes, first I should say thank you everyone to come here. Welcome to the Fall 2025 Demo Day. So again, first is thank you to distinguished guests, faculty, student leaders, and friends of this program. For the purpose of the Demo Day, as per mentioned, is a day of celebration for the metrics, right? So today we're gonna see is our next several flagship projects, the roadmap of it, and eventually the future of TXCR. So let's get started. All right, I will do a quick run through about us, since a lot of us here, and especially on the audience as well, I assume, that doesn't have a very clear what is TXCR or text side range. So what you see today and the next several slides and this presentation for today would be a student-led effort only. We are the student-led professional service provider here at A&M, where we have where we provide virtualization environment with type 1 hypervisor. And we strive forward to be an AWS Live model. The virtualization platform we're using today and at TXR is called SCP Engine. And we're using Orchestra or Zen Orchestra or Asmin XO for the user interface, UI, UX, and administration management. For the TXR use case, we have research, classes, personal, training, and competition. For research, we support A&M Cybersecurity Center, Malware Research Group, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SCADA Lab, OT, ICS, IDS, IPS Lab, and whatnot. The classes, we support a variety of classes here at A&M, but from some of the highlight of the use case and returning customer we are having right now is ITS V303, FIS 405, and 465, networking, intro to Linux, and digital forensic. With that, we also support personal VMs, such as for students can prepare for the competition or just a personal pen testing usage. And we also provide training and competition competition route. This for the first time in TechSpire, we are conducting that training and competition immersive platform. And who are we? So if you look on the left right there, that's what my team or TXCR team, what I like to call my team is the Triple S team. So what it is Triple S team? We stand for system team, software team, and support team. System team is handling all things infrastructure, right, related to server, networking, application, that support platform to advanced network automation, system security, and most importantly, the infrastructure management of TXCR. For the software side, by the name, they automate workflow, they manage website, build competition platform, and they lead the full stack development here at TXCR, as well as AI and ML development. For support team, they are our frontline communication between user and professor or anyone that interact with TXCR. They also engage in incident responses, technical support, define the class structure for each semester, and documentation. And welcome to our 25-26 team roster, where myself, I'm Khoi Tran, where I guess I'm gonna go through and give a fun fact of each. So a fun fact myself is also a startup co-founder, and then I have my co-founder here today to kind of watch the presentation. Alex E is assistant team lead, where for this summer, he'll be interning at Microsoft as a network engineer working on enterprise networking. We have Michael Bangle. Oh, please raise your hand if you. Michael Bangle, he's our software team lead. He ranked 8th globally as the first timer solving NSA task 7, the hardest task in the NSA CTF. We have Ariana Guzman. She our support team lead, where for this upcoming summer, she has spent her summer with Capital One as cybersecurity intern engineer. And we have Lucas, our web software engineer. A little fun fact about Lucas, he got multiple offers, and one of them being a software engineer intern at Toyota. And for Alex, is our AI and ML guy. For this upcoming summer, he has spent his summer with Fujitsu, which is a Japanese technology company as a software engineer intern as well. Last but not least is Vincent Dang, right there. He is our CTF software solely engineer. And for his experience at CTF, he's co-joined the team right now. They rank 11 nationally. So that is our 25-26 team roster. And with that, we have a more redefined of our mission, vision, and values. So our mission, vision, values for the mission to be empowered by the A&M community and its partner to be along with public and private sector with providing enterprise-ready virtualization platform. And our vision is to become a premier cybersecurity training and research platform to produce cybersecurity student or any talented through our platform. With that, here's some of our values. We champion the give first values. And with that, we also alignment and collaboration are two other key important things here at TXR and how we operate on this effort. And it's some kind of impact you've seen, for example, on very first picture is where we kind of went out with the Cyber Club, South Cyber Club. So when we advertise our product, we also did some hiring there and whatnot. And on this bottom two picture, the first picture is where we support the TAMU CTF, where we provide on-demand virtual machines for students who needs it at the competition. And on this side is where we partner with TAMU Hacks to provide the access as same as a TAMU CTF, and also doing outreach to raise awareness about cybersecurity. On the last two is where my support engineer team lead, where she went out and provide on-demand live support on their first day of classes using our TXR services. So that is just the impacts we're providing for this semester. With that, let's jump right straight to metrics. This where a couple weeks ago was planning the whole thing, and gaining all these metrics make me very happy. But let's check it out. For LinkedIn marketing, with more than 100 new followers for this semester, where we showcase our projects, events, and technical work across the growing audiences. On average, we have 17,321 impressions, with an average of 465 reactions, 48 comments, and 6 reposts across our LinkedIn platform. And class impact. For the class VM, we have, for this semester alone, we support 273 students with 16 and then an extra 16 personal VM. From there, bring the total of more than 3,000 students who have support since the start of fall 2023. Welcome you guys. With that, the ticket we received reduced to 43 tickets. Maybe 43 tickets sounds a lot to you. However, looking back in the spring 25, that is 77% decrease in ticketing coming to our system. That will showcase our immersive platform where we provide advanced automation and a system where students are able to find the answer more efficiently and more quickly. So that about from 90 tickets from last semester down to 43 tickets. With that, for this semester we support 4 classes and 100% of the classes, no matter online or in person, we provide them a on-class support receipt, meaning that if you're on Zoom, we will host a Zoom session to troubleshoot your problem about TXR. If you are in person, we provide a support engineer team member and team lead to come to on-site and support you guys during the first day of lab. Outreach. This is probably the biggest and the newest outreach we have ever done. For this semester, we have formed a new partnership with the University of Dayton, the CyberFire teams, where we gonna go have in the future. We're gonna collaborate it and bringing the phishing campaign hopefully to the school, and vice versa. We provide them the infrastructure ready for them to build, and actually they're using our services right now. You go to cf.therancherpost.com is where they post in-depth phishing campaign blogs and related. And so student or support, we support COSU here, we have Lake in the House, and Sam Houston University. There you go. And then Islanders Cyber Society, which is a TAMU Commerce, and also we provide TAMU CTF and TAMU Hack, and also as well Cyber Club. We have a very strong partnership with Cyber Club. So what's new, right? So this is where we showcase our innovative. Well, before I even showcase innovative, I just want to say after 6 years, our platform, SANG Operational 6, is finally rolling out. It's a fully redesigned, faster, more intuitive control platform managing our visualization. That will be rolling out earlier in January, and we are very excited to adopt and provide it to the student. Now branding. of course, you're gonna see this because we evolve. For this semester, we recognize the power of branding, right? And then together, Ariana Guzman, our team lead, led the effort of redesigning the whole new face looking of TXCR, where we aim for sharpening looks and we aim for enterprise lettering. If you notice the way of the newest new logo, how if you flip it, you will able to spell the word TXCR, right there. It's pretty cool. Technology application. For this semester, we adopt more than 2 new technology and application inside TXCR. Some of them are famously named like Authentic, which is used for SSO services, which is going to be demo later for you guys to see. Ghost Block is where we adopt our first student-led effort for Ghost. GitLab is where we transition completely from GitHub to GitLab for the purpose of CI/CD. We also integrate OpenShift for container management. Uptime Puma for in case that student wants to know about the status of the TXCR, they can go to the website and look at our health status. PostgreSQL, we recognize now it's time for us to gather data. So we have established a strong data setup using SQL. In that case, that we can support students even better. And the new way we work. For this fall semester, we have adopted agile mindset and integrate enterprise communication tool that allow us to plan better, communicate, and execute project with greater efficiency. With the agile mindset, we introduced Jira, Confluent, and Discord. Jira is task assignment and project tracking, where for this semester only, we have assigned and complete more than 337 tasks. And for Confluence, it's our central internal wiki with more than 50 documentation have been produced within that internal environment. And Discord, well, we love Discord. Discord is where our team communication and project meetings happen. If you turn around to ask our professional advisor, they've been blowing up with our DMs at like 2, 3 a.m. We apologize for that. But with more than 30 virtual meetings have been conducted, and actually, fun fact, 2 days ago, I literally go into Discord, kind of count my team member messages one by one, and then after doing some simple math calculation, we have recognized there are more than 11,000 messages communicate each other across the whole team and the board. So that's the new way we work. With that, we also developed the Rancher Post, where we believe the knowledge should be shared publicly and worldwide. So we can explore right now at the rancherpost.com, where each of the team member in TXCR share their thought development, maybe from non-technical all the way to technical. This is the first student blog capturing story. This is not a magazine or the news. This is the blog voiced by the student for the student. So you don't have to scatter around 20 steps on YouTube on how to do certain stuff, where you can just go straight into the rancherpost.com, look for documentation related to cybersecurity and beyond to see, okay, it makes sense to me. And most likely, we are writing in student voices, so it's very easy for you guys to understand. And it's also your number one place to learn from other fellow students, right? We also plan to scale to open to the public in the future as well. With that, we're launching the TXCR CTF, where it is a CTF gym, go global. We build entirely in-house TXCR written challenges with 10 new CTF archives. If you notice and you have to play a capture the flag competition, you wait until the day of the competition release and you see all the challenges. However, TXCR CTF gaps that, where we provide on-demand, free, and challenge ready for everyone, ranging from OSINT, reverse engineering, forensic, voice application, binaries, crypto, and more. For this beta launch for this semester, we have 26 active users, 35 challenges have been live, 174 total solved today. So taking a look, you can able to solve and practice your CTF challenges, weeks in advance now. You don't have to wait until the portal open and you have to memorize all the problems and you have to write up. You can do it now. So that is the launch of TXCR CTF. And for the first time, probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first new state initiative where we are student-led attack and defense competition called Texas Cyber Defense Challenge, TCDC. It is going to be where we're putting all the blue teams in one spot, and we provide them with vertical boxes with active red teamers, with also student from SAMU CTF, and then they're well known and then have a very in-depth knowledge about penetration testing to put that blue team in test in a very high pressure and fast-paced movement. So this is very this is a kind of the alpha V0.1 we're developing right now. We can see that we have dashboard, we have team alpha, team Bravo, and as a sign up list right now, if you're interested in sending your student team to compete with TCDC, please let me know. But right now we have about 3 to 4 teams already signed up and ready. So we expect them to launch at Q1 in 2026 with around spring break, right? And then we're very excited to see how this takes us to. AI bot, right? I always tell my team, you either roll with AI or AI will roll you over. So with that, we have adopted AI initiative at TXCR. The first involvement with AI began with automated student email drafting and expanding into AI-driven student support for the communication, which will be presented at a live demo in a little bit. And then announcing new programs. So we have 2 types of programs launched this semester, one being contractor and one being contributor. Contractor is a semester-based program with advanced students with in-depth technical knowledge to take the ownership of the flagship project here at TXCR that we work closely with all the team lead here to produce what are you about to see. The teams working in the TXCR production could be technical, contribute to real-world engineering with real work, real results. What the beneficial for this program is they earn real-world experiences. Where, for example, we have sometime our server shut down at 2 a.m. Right? You able to experience that at a student. And then where they can also strengthen their technical depth and demonstrate readiness, because at TXCR, we live in an environment where every single one is able to learn from each other. Everyone in here brought a unique skill, right? So every day you show up to work, you show up work as mean like remotely work, right? You're able to learn something. That's a guarantee. Contributor program. This is also the first time that TXCR offer a give back program. It's a flexible semester-based program where contributors today will showcase you guys how far they've done, how far they've learned. They came in knowing nothing, and with the guidance with team lead and the senior manager, they have developing a real demo, and actually gonna show you guys in the later slides. The cohort consists of a small group of contributors who work independently, based on their hours, flexible. They only meet with the team lead or their mentor, because it's going to be a mentor-mentee program once a week to kind of catch up and guidance. We let them build everything from 0 to 1. We don't involve anything. We're here to act as their guidance. Right? The benefit is they gain hands-on experiences, publishable at TXCR website, and that way exposure and value professional connection with the cybersecurity community that we have. With that, I want to unveiling the fall 2025 flagship projects. First, the Trinity. Trinity is our TCDC style development platform, and Overwatch is our first Discord bot that we're able to pull all the data you can imagine into one central Discord communication where all this engineering can come into Discord and just even work in there. And for the 16th Air Force CTF, we have partnered with the 16th Air Force team, and then their org to develop challenges from there. And Manhattan. When you think of Manhattan, you think about skyscraper, right? That's about Project Manhattan. Project Manhattan is a series of new infrastructure being built this semester. And for rebirth means rebranding. So rebirth, you are going to see the full rebrand development and the in-depth progress in there. Synapse is our AI bot initiative, where we brought the new AI breath into our program. With that, I'm gonna introduce all my team lead, and then so they can take over and demo. Please give them the applause. Thank you.
Howdy, everyone.
Howdy.
Alright, so my name is Michael. I am the software team lead. And then behind me is Vincent. He's my partner in crime when it comes to everything software. So, thank you. So we'll start with Trinity. As we mentioned, this is a attack defense style competition completely built in-house by the Cyber Inc. So first, I just want to ask, so I don't go over any already known information. Is anyone here familiar with CCDC or RIT's ISTS? Okay, so we got a few hands, so I'll go over what it is. Basically, blue team members are given a network of computers that they have to secure. So these are intentionally made with misconfigurations, or they're intentionally made with malware already on them. So they're already trying to push the ball up the hill. So they have a lot to deal with. And while they're dealing with that, they have to worry about a red team that is trying to basically bring down their services. So as we can see on the slide, teams are scored based on the uptime of their services. So there's these things called ticks. These happen every like 30 or so seconds. They basically check in to make sure, is the service still up? If it's down, they don't get points. If it's up, they will get points. But the thing that makes ours interesting is CCDC, you're only dealing with that central red team, but we took inspiration from other competitions that our members have competed in, such as ISTS from RIT. In that one, teams are allowed to attack each other actually. So it's less of a blue team competition, more of a purple team, because you have the choice to attack each other. As we can see in the diagram, this is an example of 3 teams. The teams, of course, the red team has access to them, but the teams have access to each other as well. So if they want to go at each other, they can. And when it comes to the vulnerabilities and misconfigurations, we try to base this off of reality or things we see, such as like in Hack the Box. So we are aiming for 5 boxes for the first iteration of TCDC. We have 2 right now. The first one is an FTP server. And then, as you can see, all the vulnerabilities in here, they're based off of real CWEs. So for the FTP server, we have like there's default credential use, there's exposure of sensitive information, and also there's OS command injection. And the reason why we want to make it as realistic as possible is, I don't know how caught up y'all are with cyber news, but there was a really bad RCE that dropped yesterday or 2 days ago. Scored a 10 on the CWSS score, so very, very bad. Basically allows anyone to immediately run any code on any remote server. So already it got patched, but we took inspiration from that, and the next services we're going to do will have this vulnerability built in. So it's to basically keep competitors on their feet and make sure that they are up to date with the cyber news and vulnerabilities going around. And I'll have Vincent explain his box.
Hi, I'm Vincent. So my box is the directory search where if you like how the A&M system has a directory search. It's similar to that where you can view users' directory search information, and you can create your own account and manage your own directory search. With my directory search, I implemented a few vulnerabilities with like misauthentication, where you can authenticate into other users' directory information. And this allows you to modify their information as well as see information that they may have hidden from the directory record. So one of the things was like quotes, and one of the users, they hid something in their quotes, and so attackers can look and find the vulnerability to get into that user, and then use that vulnerability to get information off of that user and exploit that system. And then additionally, with Michael's FTP server, IT systems are connected in a way, so we had our systems connect and talk to each other. So if you find something off of Michael's FTP server, you might be able to find something on my directory search server. That allows you to, it allows for more complex attacks, and allows you to work with your team to create a solution and defend and attack your boxes in order to ensure your uptime in the competition.
Yeah, so this is an example of how the dashboard will look like. This was developed by Vincent, actually. Very nice. So basically, in this example, we have 2 teams, and Team Alpha and Team Bravo. As we can see, Bravo's not doing that good. All their services are down. Team Alpha has all their services up, And as you can see, we have the tick number. So this will happen, like as I said, every 30 seconds, every minute or so. And at the bottom is their scores, basically collected throughout. It stores the uptime of each service, and then we have the total. So here we have an example of, like, for example, if red team got onto their box and they would bring down the service, this dashboard will reflect that. The team will see, oh no, our service is down. So we just have to wait for the next tick. But basically, this makes them, this allows them to have the utmost visibility of their services, and also it's how we will score them and grade them at the end of the competition. So we have to wait for the ticks to roll in. And then also, it's not, as I mentioned, it's not only red team. So now there are services down. It's not only red team they have to deal with, they have to deal with each other as well. So that can be anyone on their team. They can have one person that is designated to just being pure red team. But the reason why we want to introduce that is because we're going to purposely have less team members on the team than there are services. So basically, if there was like equivalent services and team members, you could just have one person on each. But we want them to multitask. We want them to basically be put in a real life situation where they're basically having to face against like odds that are stacked against them. And if you're gonna have a team that's a team member dedicated to red team, that's one less person you have to help secure boxes. But let's pretend this team is actually good. So they have a team member that's able to bring their service back up. And when the next tick rolls around, this will say up, and then so we could wait for the tick, but we could also move on to the next project we have.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Are the different blue team boxes, are they all identical? Like, is from team to team?
Yes, they'll all have the same services.
Yeah, so you're kind of simulating like an inside effect and stuff like that.
Exactly. Also, there are little minute differences that we can potentially introduce for that. So for example, teams can have different user passwords throughout the boxes. So that'll make it a little harder for a team. Like if everyone had the same password, you could immediately SSH into someone's box and bring all their services down. So different passwords might be something we implement, but overall, all the boxes are the same. Yeah. So our next project was Project Overwatch. This was entirely handled by Vincent, so I'll have him talk about what he's done.
So Project Overwatch is a Discord bot that we designed for our Discord communication. And originally, the last team before us had a Discord bot, but the way it communicated Jira and other information about our service and our services, it wasn't effective, and it was a mess to look through. So I redesigned the Discord bot, made it from scratch, and Project Overwatch allows us to see changes and updates in our collaboration workspace, Jira, and we can see how whenever a task has been completed or we have changed the status of the task, it reflects directly into our Discord channel. And then additionally, with future contributions to Overwatch, we plan to expand our ability to work more effectively and gain more insight into how our services are running and how our teams are effectively communicating.
And then our final project is the 16th Air Force CTF. Those who know about it, sadly, it was canceled because of the government shutdown, but we still were able to develop it. Again, like what I did with CCDC, are any of y'all familiar with what CTF is? Okay. So I'll just have a brief rundown. Basically, you have a wide variety of challenges ranging from, as we see here, reverse engineering to binary exploitation. This was done in collaboration with Dr. Hamilton's research group. So there was 21 challenges developed in a span of roughly 3 weeks, and 9 of them were by me and Vincent, so in-house by TSCR. And the infrastructure is completely hosted on the Texas Cyber Range, so the Air Force would be working completely on our infrastructure. And there's a lot more challenges than just reverse engineering and binary exploitation, which we'll go into now. We'll show a little bit of site will look like. So here's this instance. So we start with Hone is basically we speak for binary exploitation. We have web exploitation as well. We have cryptography. We have miscellaneous. So miscellaneous is basically any challenge that doesn't fit into the other categories. Usually they like to put OSINT in here, so open source intelligence. Basically, the flag is like finding something on the internet that someone did. And then we have forensics, digital forensics, and then finally reverse engineering. So even though the competition sadly was canceled, as you can see, we're ready to go with it whenever it happens, which I believe will be early March. We're ready to have the Air Force take a crack at this. Challenges range from like relatively easy to pretty hard. We want to challenge those Air Force operators, and this is a good way for the cyber range to like get the name out there, work with agencies, work with DoD or Department of War now. So yeah, that was the last project that software team was working on. So I'll pass it on to the next team.
Just so you know, Michael, that's been rescheduled in March.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. So, my name is Alex. I'm the sole systems team member. I'm the team lead. Basically handle everything infrastructure related. So my project for this semester was Manhattan. Basically, just want to do a lot of general improvements for all the users of TXCR. So that includes both you guys and the employees. So one of the first things I kind of did was a better account management system. Basically, what we had before was really hard to integrate and hard for users to kind of comprehend. You would have to like add an OTP token to the end of your password. A lot of people got confused, and I'd say like 90% of our tickets were because of that. So one thing about this new better account management system is we support single sign-on. So it's using a platform called Authentic, but I learned that from my internship. Another thing I did was also add many new OS templates. So there's about like 17 now, and one of the cool things about these templates is they kind of double our VM capacity because we were probably a little too generous before, and now, I mean, it more accurately reflects the needs of the people that actually use our VMs. Also, as Vates started to go through, okay, so Vates is the owner of Zen Orchestra and XCP-ng. They're basically transitioning to what's called X06, which is the new interface that Coy mentioned earlier. So next semester we plan on moving to that, and part of that was me updating Zen Orchestra and making sure X06 is ready for us. Another thing I did was put GitLab on the range. So previously we used GitHub. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of that. They're just a, I guess, SaaS platform where you can host all your code and do a lot of stuff. So we moved over to GitLab. Cool thing about GitLab is probably got a more mature CI/CD. So CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment. And what we can do with that is basically as soon as a change gets made to like the website, it'll automatically test it and go out there and deploy it. And that's one cool thing that GitLab has been able to get us to do. And another thing with GitLab that's neat is it's all local, so none of our code is being spied on by Microsoft, so very ironic. But another thing, so there's a lot on here, but if you've heard of DHCP, it's basically like a network protocol that automatically configures your network interfaces to like allow it to basically reach other networks. So one of the things I did was kind of simplify the management of it by integrating it with our source of truth for the network. And basically I can edit five different fields on the website, and it's automatically going to deploy and update the DHCP server to accurately reflect it. So it saves a bunch of hours on that. Another program is OpenShift. So OpenShift is it's a Red Hat product. We're using the community version. It's basically a container orchestration platform. So what that means is we currently put a lot of stuff on virtual machines, but containers are not only more resource efficient, but a lot of developers are used to using like Docker to run their stuff. So OpenShift is kind of a nice way to deploy things to developers, and we're already starting to use it, despite me only deploying it like 2 weeks ago. Also, all these screenshots you see here are more integration for our monitoring and alerts. So we have a new section in Discord that has a bunch of these notifications. So the first one is the GitLab notification. So right here we have Alex Bowie, who, he just made a new commitment. We can see what he said. We can compare the changes. Got a direct link straight back to GitLab. So that one's been really nice. So we can see what our developers are actually doing. This Ansible app kind of works to notify us for like personal onboarding. So we use Ansible to kind of automate everything, and this Discord channel basically tells us when a new VM request comes in, and also if anything bad has happened, or if we need to make sure the email is sent out. So we also have the OpenShift one, so this kind of gives us a bunch of general notifications if there's something wrong with the cluster. And lastly, Uptime Kuma over there basically gives us alerts in case websites go down or things aren't accessible for people. So this has been really neat for me because I don't have to manually figure out when somebody reaches out to me hey, this doesn't work. Ideally, I will know just based on the Discord channel. We also added a public documentation website, and currently our website has a bunch of paragraphs and spaces where you can kind of learn how to use the range, but this public documentation website is meant to be a more in-depth version of that, so that more technical people can kind of see what can you actually use the range for. And then lastly, Vault Warden is a password management tool. You might have heard of Bitwarden, it's kind of the commercial version of it, but Vault Warden lets us share passwords and OTP codes without actually putting it all on my phone. So when it's 1 a.m. and somebody's got to log into the Gmail, then they're going to text me to get the code. So that's really nice. And then lastly, the Cloudflare logo up there. We got a bunch of new domains, and the cool thing about using Cloudflare is we get a lot more metrics, the web application firewall, and also caching. So it's been really nice. We get to see more metrics and other stuff. So now I'm going to go ahead and demo everything. Okay, so first I mentioned the new account management system. So this is what Authentic looks like. Thanks to Ari for all the branding, it looks really great. But basically before you would kind of have multiple logins for one system, or you'd have a different self-service portal. What this is kind of just acts as the dashboard for everything range related. So one cool thing about this, if you ever forget your username, you can also just log into email. So I have my email in there. And so we enforce two-factor on all of our accounts just for security reasons. I already have mine configured, but if I didn't have one configured, they give me multiple ways to set it up to make sure you have two-factor. And before, we would only really support OTP codes, so you'd have to pull out your Duo app and scan the QR code. But the cool thing about this is it supports hardware and passkeys that could be linked to your browser, so I have multiple. All I gotta do is sign in once, and I'm here at the dashboard. So this is kind of the employee view. So some of these things, for general users, you're not gonna see. But when you go down here to infrastructure, you kind of get access to everything that you would need on the range. And so one of the important one we mentioned is an orchestra. That's how people kind of connect to their VMs. All you have to do is simply click on it, and it'll take you to Orchestra already logged up. And then when Boy was mentioning X06, we could just click on this link. By default, hopefully by next semester, it's going to be the default, but for now, I got to put it up. And so this kind of shows you, this is just what X06 looks like. Actually, the new template. And so for a student, they would see their specific their specific VM and then click on console. And here, I mean, it's a nicer interface. You can full screen it to make it a little bigger, or you can just straight open the console in a new tab. And this is very, I mean, a little better than what we have because this console is it's a little slow. But with all those new templates, I also enabled like new ways to access your VM. So while you can do it via the console up here, there's a more preferred version for the actual graphical desktop VM. So what you do is you just get the IP address in the actual console. So if I go to the dashboard here, you see this IP address. If you get on the VPN, you can actually connect to that IP address via remote desktop. So I'm just going to do that. It's going to give you an insecure warning, but you can just ignore it. It's secure. And cool. So now we're on remote desktop. It's nice full screen. You can actually connect multiple monitors. You can customize resolution. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with remote desktop, but I'm just going to log in as normal. It says there's a session already running, so you can only have one. But you can just stop it from here. And here you go. So nice full screen. You got new desktop backgrounds for each of them that look really nice. Thanks to Ari. And it's kind of just the preferred way to use it. It's less laggy, more integrated with the actual system. And just for that, you'd have to go on the VPN. And getting on the VPN is really easy. If you don't have the client, you could just go to Authentic again, click on the VPN, and it'll take you to a page to actually download the client. Once you download the client, you follow our setup instructions, and it'll redirect you back to Authentic, and you're already logged in, so it's just going to automatically do it. So that's kind of like the new way to access the VM, way smoother, way nicer than the actual console on the website. But the console's always there for people that just want to use that and they don't want to mess with VPN. And when I talk about multiple templates, I want to show you like all the new ones. So basically every flavor of Linux you can think of with Ubuntu, Kali, Debian, Fedora. I mean, all the Red Hat variants are all there. We also have Windows 10, 11, and Windows Server. So they actually run pretty smooth, I'd say. And then also for anyone wanting to learn like firewalling or routing, we have some virtual ones such as OpenSense and FireWire. So those are all the new templates. I kind of want to show GitLab. So GitLab very similar to GitHub, but we give very fine-grained like access control to this. So we have like specific groups for each team, and they can all manage basically everything they want. So projects are kind of like repositories, and this is all running locally, which is amazing. So I'm just gonna pull up like my corporate website, for example. So there's like this little file. Okay, not that one. But anyways, if you go to build and pipeline, you can kind of see this past one. Basically, like I made a commit to change the website. It's going to do a bunch of commands and stuff. It's going to build a container, and it's going to automatically publish it to OpenShift, which I'm going to demo right now. And then I was talking about implementing like DHCP with NetBox, our source of truth. This kind of what it looks like. So all of these sites that you see are single sign-on, so you can just click on the tile from Authentic, and it's going to bring you here. It's been really great for employees because I don't have to. As we add more services, it's kind of possible to manage 15 different accounts. So in here, we can just go to prefixes, which stands for like subnets or subnetworks. And let's say I want to look at like VLAN level. Let's look at this prefix. There's these new custom fields for key to DHCP, so I can directly define what would be in the server. And all I have to do is click like one button in Ansible or AWX, and it's automatically going to run and deploy the new config, and now like when VM starts to request a new IP address, it's going to take you. So now we're on to OpenShift. So it says OKD because we're using the community version, but it's basically the same product. What we have here is, if you've ever heard of like Kubernetes, it's just kind of a neat way to scale your application and provide a lot of high availability. So this operates in like what's called a cluster. So basically there are a bunch of VMs that run on the cyber range, and there's a control plane that kind of like tells all the VMs what to do, and there's also worker nodes that run the actual application. And so you can look down here like how much we've used. So like overall we have 93 gigabytes across this whole cluster, but I can easily scale it up by just editing how much RAM or CPU resources the actual VMs have. But what's neat about this is there's quick adds where all you have to do is just click on container images and link it back to your GitLab container registry that you configured, and then now you have an auto redeploying and updating actual deployment of that. So currently our website's already migrated onto here, both the development version and the main version. And I mean, I haven't used it too much yet, but I think all the devs are liking it a little bit more. But that's kind of OpenShift. We're moving to kind of move all of our workloads to here. Another big benefit is the actual developers themselves. They don't have to deal with all the nonsense of messing with the VMs, knowing like what IP addresses, logins, all that stuff. They just have to log in here with Authentic, link it to the container registry, and the applications are there. So this has been really nice for kind of lowering how much infrastructure the software team is. And then this is a public documentation website that I was telling you guys about. This kind of uses one of our new domains that I was talking about with Cloudflare called txdr.dev. So this one specifically docs.txdr.dev. And while it's not fully configured yet, I have a developer preview version of it. That way we can see changes before they're actually represented on the new doc website. And this is all automatically built with CI/CD, like I was saying, GitLab. And so now I can go to the docs, and these are kind of like placeholders for now, but we have like a bunch of getting started guides. So like, how do you access the VPN? How do you go to your VM through an orchestra? How do you connect with remote desktop so you have a better graphical experience? And then just like general like account management. But one cool thing I like about this is there's use cases and tutorial section. What it's going to be used for is like, if you're ever curious, like you've heard of the cyber ranges, but you don't really know what you could use it for, this is kind of what would be in here. So, for example, it'd be like, oh, you can use it to learn firewall, like how to actually use OpenSense for that. You use it to like get your Red Hat Enterprise Linux certification, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so over time, we're kind of going to show people how they can use the cyber range using these getting started guides so that you guys can basically easily use those. And then last but not least, I have Vault Boredom, the password manager. This one's also linked to Authentic. And this is internal, so all I gotta do is put my email in and click use single sign-on. It's gonna do a little redirect. And then you got a master password. So this one's ideally more secure. It's also an extension, so it can like auto, like if you want to actually, if we wanted to use it as our own password manager, we can do that. But it's mainly used from shared accounts. Cool. So now that we're here, we have different vaults, and these can be like role-based like access control, so that like team leads can see specific accounts, or maybe all of us can see the shared account. So since Authentic's kind of linked to everything, I have a think to thing in there, and it's got two-factor setup, and it actually the Vault Boredom server like saves the token, so we can all go in there and see it without actually having a phone. And that's all locked down by Authentic access controls, or it's just us employees. I'm not going to actually click on it because I don't want to leak our credentials, but basically, yeah, you can click on it, you see the actual token, and you see the password. So that's not it for the demo.
everyone, my name is Ariana Guzman, and I am the support engineer team lead. And I'll let my team members.
Hi, I'm Alexander Dewey. I'm the AI ML engineer.
And I am Lucas Badlamuti. I'm the web software engineer.
Yeah, so these two guys are actually in the support team. Well, not within the support team, they're software engineers. But I believe that they helped and contributed a lot to just expand the mission of support. So I believe the main two core values of support are to not only provide functionality, so like provide requests to students that provide them. And I believe that Project Synapse, which was the project that Alex helped me on, that one greatly expanded our capabilities and made support a lot easier for students, not only facilitating support engineers' lives, but also facilitating the user experience for everyone overall. Additionally, Lucas, which helped me with Project Rebirth, I believe that encompassed the main goal of support team as a whole to just showcase an accurate representation of who 2XCR is, through branding, through marketing, whatever it is. So that's the whole idea of Rebirth. So, introducing Project Rebirth. So, Rebirth originally has started as just plans to redesign a website. And so, as we kind of got to crafting and making the Figma design and all of the design contents, it quickly became much more than that. It became just a whole redesign to TXCR as you see it today. The image, the mission, the everything. So if we go to the old website, this is what the old website looked like. As you can see, it got the job done, but it was not what fully encompassed the TXCR mission and how we see it today. And so there was the VM request form used to be, sorry, can you go to the VM request form? Yes. The VM request form was outdated, and I mean, like I mentioned before, students would go onto here, and this would be their first instance to get one of our services. So nothing wrong with it. It got the job done, but it does not encompass what TXCR should be. So, introducing the new website. Quickly, we figured out that the goal of Rebirth was to redesign a new UI UX that was modern and facilitated a lot of the things that users use. So, as you can see from it, cleaner graphics, a better overall message, and captures accurately what TXCR provides, infographics, and all of that. And so, from what you can see, the nav bar at the top also has a lot of, it's more categorized, more organized, encompasses our main 4 pillars, so an overview of who we are, programs, so our collaboration with the center, services, and support. And all of this got us to get the next step in the door into what TXCR looks like today. And so at the end of every page, we know the importance of a first impression. So at the end of every page, we make it important for us to have a contact us button, and that allows for any partners or organizations that want to partner with us or get in touch to do so. And so all of this gets directed to our TXCR internal email, which leadership, Koi, and the teams have access to. So this provides us to just give any sponsors and potential partners a better look and just a better experience overall. And then another main pillar that we redesigned was the VM request form. So what you saw, that was one of the main services that we provide, VMs. And so ultimately, it is important for people to just have a better user experience. So if you actually navigate to that, this is what it looks like now. It's much cleaner, much sleeker. And whenever you request, it has all of the operating systems that Alex thankfully set up. And this goes directly to the backend. So I will hand the mic over to Lucas, and he'll explain how that works.
Okay. And thank you for the introduction. So as you saw through our improved VM request form, we moved to a central database instead of having our different services on different emails and Google Sheets. We wanted to orchestrate it into one service. That way we could have a better time of managing our information. So I was looking here at the screen right now. Sorry for this, but this is actually Prisma Studio, and we are using Prisma for our Postgres database, and it allows us extra toolkit features, such as having the display for our database here. And so on a request submission, a user's information will be validated into our database, and upon that, it will trigger a workflow through our AWX pipeline, where it will set up the necessary configurations in order for a new VM to be developed on our service. And then, as you saw previously with Vincent's chatbot, Discord alert bot, we will actually get an Ansible alert through Discord where we can monitor and approve that submission.
So all of this, as you can see, is now connected to our backend. And so that just overall sets up the workflow that we may need for future implementations. And so I will later talk about it a little bit more, but this also sets up the basis for Synapse. Another VM or another form that we also upgraded was the support ticket. So whenever we're trying to provide support to students, this is what they see. Obviously, it's much sleeker once again, and it provides you an issue category, which is also connected to our database. So now we can move on to Project Synapse. So as I mentioned before, Project Rebirth was the thing that set up basis for Project Synapse. Synapse is the actual AI implementation. Support became automated, and this project truly showcases the ideal of TXCR being at the edge of technology. And so, Project Synapse, basically, it provides an AI-powered support ecosystem for TXCR. So as we're gonna showcase, if you go onto the main website, we now, on our main support page, we include a semantic documentation search for instant answers. So this is how it looks like today. Basically, whenever you try to look up a keyword or just any question overall, it will take you to our new redefined documentation. And this documentation was reformed and remade and made clearer based on the feedback of students. As we were still getting tickets over issues that were obviously listed on our website, we knew that it was a problem on our end, and it was something that we made clearer and made it more accessible to us. So these documents also provide the basis for our new AI chatbot that is found really accessible throughout all pages at the bottom right corner. And so you can type in your question, and instead of just giving you a formal documentation style, it also provides you a conversation type of response that students can easily access and usually prefer. So right now, like for example, we're asking, how can I log into Zen Orchestra? The AI will access our documentation that we have vetted, and it will think on that and provide you a response that is easily digestible. So there you go.
And it works.
And from there, we can actually, if you would like to explain how the AI is actually structured.
Sure. So the AI will receive the prompt that you put into this chatbot interface. And what it will do is it will actually draw from our internal database of documentation using that prompt query. And using that prompt query, it'll pull all of the relevant documentation that it needs to answer the question, and then it is provided as context to that LLM. So this is how it's able to understand how, for this instance, how to log into Zen Orchestra, because it was able to pull our documentation.
Yes.
So on the
kind of, are you looking for a vector embedding, or are you looking for a semantic search or combination of
So
both?
right now we're using hybrid search. So it's using both a combination of those embeddings and also keywords as well.
So as you can see from here, this redefined how support is now shaped today. We pre-move, we are visionary, so we predict what the user will have issues with, and we can make it more accessible to them, but also easier on us. And so apart from that, another main thing that we implemented is that we can actually access this through the Authentic portal that Alex set up for us. And so within that, we have a support ticket system that will launch officially on spring 2026. And so what this allowed from the form that Lucas helped create, this goes straight into a database. And so the AI will actually be able to listen on that, and this will show up within this dashboard. So for example, it'll read the ticket, it'll pull from the database, it'll tell you the name, the subject, so why it doesn't work, and it'll have the message there. From there, you have a couple of actions. So a common issue that we face is that MFAs don't work, and so we usually have to interface with that. So the AI will actually think on that, like right now it's doing, and it will identify the type of action that it needs to perform. So it goes beyond just a simple chatbot, it's also able to interact with our infrastructure as well. So it'll act as a support agent and be able to perform that authentic MFA reset that a support agent would usually have to do manually. So over there, we have complete control over what everything does. So we choose to approve it, and so as you can see, the AI successfully reset it, and then from there we can ask it to then process a ticket and then draft a response. So this would be like a ticket that we would usually see very often. So instead of a support engineer having to just remake the same email just with different wording, we can have the AI just give it all, easy to access. And then from
One more question. Which kind of model are you using? Are you using a local model, or are you using some?
So actually, currently, we have the LLM installed on one of our VMs with a really good GPU. So actually, all of this, like AI functionality, is all running locally on our infrastructure.
Yes, so this doesn't stop here. Let's say we're not satisfied with the response that the AI gave us. We have different options. So one of the main options is that you can just choose to delete it or add characters. Maybe I missed something, you can just easily type it in there. You can also ask it to redo the response. Maybe you want a different prompt, you can just reprompt it easily right there. And so what it will do, it'll regenerate the response based on your new request. And so we can wait for it there. And so as soon as the new description comes up, we also have functionality where we can approve or just deny it overall, which will come up in a second. So there you go. And so at the bottom, now this newly generated draft response, once support is satisfied enough with it, it can approve or deny it. So this allows total control over support. If you approve it, then as you can see, the ticket has been processed and completed. So this will be automatically sent to the emails of the requester of the ticket. And I believe, is there anything I missed maybe?
Nope. I think also in this dashboard, you can also see some of the steps that the AI took to actually answer this response as well. So for example, you can see all of the documentation that it pulled, and you can see sort of like the format of our documentation so that it's really easy for the AI to actually take it in as context. So this is all the documentation. It pulled 5 documents from our internal base. You can also see right here, there's also a section to also include the AI thinking. So this is really helpful for actually figuring out why the AI says what it does. So you can see right here, you can see all of the AI's thinking process, which makes it really easy for the support engineer or for me, if I want to like edit some of the prompts or edit the model, to actually go in and actually see why the AI outputted what it did.
So as you can see here, this allows for a lot of functionality for support. So I will walk you through what a day in the life of a support engineer looks like. So we usually have tickets coming in. Probably, most likely, like Alex mentioned, 90% of the time it's on something that's already on our website. And so we may receive it during a day in which we have a test or a class. So we may not get to it. It may take us like 2 hours once we see it, or even up to 10 if it's a really packed day. And so what this actually does is that as soon as you receive that email through what Lucas has set up, then it'll redirect you and ask you to go through this dashboard. And all you need to do is a couple clicks. It goes from 2 to 10 hours to 2 to 10 minutes. So the difference is huge. Let me go back to the slides. Yes, so this is the end of Project Synapse. And after this, I'll pass it back to
I would say thank you again for viewing our flagship projects. Right now, we are moving toward contributor showcase, where remember, these individuals came in with TXR with zero knowledge at the beginning of August, and later, let's see what they got from us.
Alright, hello everyone. So my name is Ali and my project is on AI and cybersecurity. So a big problem here at SOCs is the high level of alert traffic that they get, which would be fine since it's their job to filter through all the alerts. But the problem is the extremely high number of false positive alerts that they get. And a couple examples of these is the impossible travel, which is triggered from using a VPN, which changes your location. So it's like, how did you travel from another country in like a minute? So my project here reduces the SOC alert noise using a machine learning classifier, and that predicts whether an incident is a true positive, false positive, or benign positive. The model that I have is trained on Microsoft's real-world guide dataset that I picked, and I packaged it with a small Streamlit demo. So the data has millions of SOC incidents with the triage labels, which are true positive, benign positive, false positive. And so the guide has 3 levels, which is evidence, alert, and incident. I modeled my machine learning tool at the incident level because that is where the analysts have their decision point. So when the model works, it has 3 classes: BP, FB, and TB, benign, false, and true. And it shows the probabilities that the app will have. And it takes around 6 feature columns, so that includes detector ID, alert title, category, entity type, evidence row. And so your input file may contain these columns, and the order does not matter, it can be any order. And what the app does is the app hashes these text fields to build features exactly like during training. And I evaluated my model with the macro F1, which treats each class equally, because we care about true positive, false positive, and benign, not just overall accuracy. And so my baseline results were, my macro F1 score was 0.75, which is a pretty good score. And so we're already strong at filtering likely false and benign positives. And my next focus in this will be to improve the true positive recall so that we don't miss the real threats. And so in short, I built a scalable, reproducible baseline that already filters SOC alert noise effectively, and it slots directly into their workflows for practical use. Thank you.
Howdy. So I'm going to be speaking about my experience with the contributor program. I found out about the contributor program at a cyber meeting. Koi came in and talked about the contractor positions and then the contributor positions. What stuck out to me about the contributor program was that you needed 0 experience. So, and this is something that spoke to me. So I emailed Koi and we went on a Zoom meeting, and he actually asked, like, what do you want to get into cybersecurity? What do you want to do? And so I told him, I've been wanting to get into CTFs and everything. So he said Michael would be perfect for that. And so basically this semester, we've been meeting once a week, and he's just been walking me through CTF challenges. First, we started off with cryptography challenges, and then went on to web vulnerability. That's why, more so, that's what we've been focusing on for most of this semester. And the thing that was nice about it was having the mentorship. You can obviously get into it on your own, but it's nice to have someone there to walk you through and go to when you need help, when you can't figure it out on your own. So for my end of semester project, I did 2 write-ups. The first one was a SQL injection vulnerability. So basically the overview of the challenge, it was just, I had to identify the vulnerability of the login and then log in and find the challenge. So I exploited the challenge, and then what was nice about it doing the write-up was you get to think from a defensive perspective, what could have been done to prevent this vulnerability. And that was one of my favorite things and most insightful things from this program. And then the other challenge was just the flag was hidden in the directory of the website. I had to change directories and find the directory that was hidden in and then get the flag. And overall, the contributor program has been very helpful to me, and I think it goes back to what Coy said. It's to give back to students.
All right. Fun fact. For this cohort, we only accept 2 students. We're looking for more students in the next semester. If Cycle Club or NM student have interests working with us, please watch out for your email for next semester. And another fun fact is, Ali and Hayden already published a post at therancherpost.com. It's available right now for you guys to fill. Please check it out for further details. With that, again, introducing the Spring 26 roadmap. For this roadmap, what's next? Externally, we are continuing to have contributor program cohort 2, and then we are launching out our TCDC alpha phase. And with that, we also want to collaborate with more agency collaborations, interstate student collaboration, which is across the state. And with everything, we want also average at a state level. Internally, there are 6 more projects under development, which the first 3 are being a project Manhattan 2, which is the next advanced, more infrastructure, updating and upgrading. And with that, we also have some Project X, Project Helios, Project Agile, and 2 more projects are under development. Please stay tuned for your email, for your LinkedIn. Please follow us on LinkedIn, so stay tuned on what is the detail of these projects. And there's a closing remark. Professor. I would like to say thank you for these all 4 individuals here. I mean, Dr. Hampton's up here, but Michelle and Professor Romero and Colonel Meek, their invaluable mentorship and guidance made us here for this semester. So I'm inviting Professor Romero to have some keynote speaker for this closing remark.
Round of applause. I'm not sure I need this. I am a professor. So, wow, that's all I got to say. I think I want to first off thank Coy for his leadership. So, Coy, thank you. My project, my team has been amazing. I have 2 target audiences here. I have students, and I have the other adults in the room. Let me talk to the students first. This has all been done by them. This is what leaving a legacy at Texas A&M is all about. I have not been involved with any of these projects besides the mentorship and feedback for Coy. This has been an unfunded project. They are doing this the best they can, finding money where they can. They have volunteered their services. I thank every single one of them because they're all amazing. So thank you. The contributor, contractor, all of that was all Coy's idea. The infrastructure was done by Alex. The redesign for support and what she needed was area. It's all been amazing. I need to give you some history before I talk to the other adults in the room. When I got here, I used to work at TEEX. I was a director over there, a center director. I got suckered in to coming over here at the Texas A&M proper. I didn't think I was going to want to work with the students. I thought they were a bunch of snowflakes, you know, Land Rover driving. It changed my life. I actually quit, got demoted, moved over here so I could support the students. My philosophy, and this is towards the adults in the room, my philosophy is this. I'm an old Scoutmaster. So I believe from Lord Baden-Powell in Scouting, it was, if you give, I'll just change the quote. If you give them, the students, partial responsibility, you're going to get partial results. If you give them full responsibility, you get full results. As you can tell from this, this is full results. It's beyond anything I could have imagined. History of the Texas Cyber Range and me coming here was, I actually found a bunch of servers and a switch in a closet. And I said, what is this? And they said, that's the Texas Cyber Range. It was just sitting at the bottom collecting dust. I asked some students at the time, do you think you could fire this up? And then maybe we can get back in the business. And that was in 2018. So what you see here in 2025, believe it or not, most of this has happened in the last semester under Coy's leadership. So we are on version probably 26 by now of the Texas Cyber Range, and I know it's going to get expanded with this new project. So I got to tell you, at one point I wanted to take away the Cyber Range since it's an unfunded project and it's a pain in my butt, or it was. And I have changed my mind. So the reason why I wanted the Cyber Range to start, and this is towards the other students as well, was that I wanted to give students leadership opportunities. I wanted them to feel what an RJ45 is when they click it in. I wanted to give them hands-on experiential learning. Little did I realize that besides the physical, they were going to get all the soft skills needed. Coming up here doing a presentation, looking presentable, hosting the room, buying the food. I had nothing to do with any of this. This was all the soft skills and leadership done by the students. So I'm super, super proud, as you can imagine. I don't even know what to say half the time. So for the problems that we have is funding. So my job is to try to find funding opportunities to pay for some of these services. Right now, as you know, with the executive branch, there's some changes with funding and research, and so I'm looking for some alternatives. But we do have these partners, and all these partners that he has mentioned was because of Coy. So University of Dayton, Tarrant County, you forgot to mention them. Now Corpus Christi, Galveston, of course, which is, you know, home anyway. So I just want to say thanks, Coy. Now, thank you for the guests that came. Thank you. I know you came from Galveston, Houston, so thank you all for coming all this way. Amy, you too. I know you travel across campus.
You came from the computer science department as well.
Yeah. Computer science and then here. So thank you all for coming, Dr. So thank you. So now, where are we heading? Just so y'all know, I am trying to find y'all funding. Trying to figure out a way not to get into the professional mode. So I don't want this to be necessarily in quote production, because then we have to do NIST 800, 171 assessments and whatnot and everything else, and TAC 202. But what I do want to do is cut that curve and then figure out where we go from there. So I just want to say to each of you, including the contributors, thank you. I'm glad you learned something. That was a good presentation from both of you. And good job. Good job. Thank you.
All right. Professor, with that, let me close. All right. Well, thank you everyone for showing up today and showing out. I just want to say one thing. Thank you one more time. This, I guess, from May 2025, is where I step up as a senior manager, getting on the next legacy. And looking at the left right here, on your left right here, I couldn't have done this without my team, right? I just want to say thank you to y'all again. They really helped me, message me, being bothered by me, it's meant a lot, and I couldn't done without them because no matter how good at you, no matter how good at managing you are, if your team don't listen to you, it's not a team, right? But this team right here, and what you're seeing right now, is what I call a dream team. All right, thank you so much for coming out. I will see you guys next semester.
A lot of information in that.
I can't believe, yeah, some of that, I'm used to that, some of that.
Have you met Michael?
Yeah, I mean, well, we kind of just said hello.
CEO of CyberSecCon?
Yep.
This is the guy behind this. These are not computer science. How many of them are computer science?
Quite a few.
Oh.
But Toy and Alex, believe it or not, are MIS.
Oh.
And then the rest of them, and some are MIS. So Koi and Alex, the two top, are MIS. That's why we had it. And then the rest is computer science and computer engineering.
Oh, okay. So you teach. They just